Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Azure Back to School sessions. My name is Elhan, and I'm glad to have you here. And we are going to cover how to get you ready for Microsoft Azure Architect exam, namely AZ305. First of all, I would like to give a shout out to Dwayne and Derek for organizing this awesome event this year, and as well as to everyone who is attending this event and as well as watching these awesome, wonderful sessions that Microsoft Azure MVPs and other MVPs that we have in tech community are actually very happily going to provide. And thank you everyone for the contributions. So let's dive into that. Uh, let's dive into this session and see what we have here for you. This is a little bit information about myself. I'm currently working for T-Rex Solutions. We are located in this in DMV area here in DC, and I'm actually Microsoft Azure MVP too. And you see my socials on the left side for the LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm always looking to connect with people and help them wherever possible. In addition to that, as you see here, I'm running the cloudmarathoner.com blog in order to share the cloud journey and all the experiences that I'm going through, and as well as how to help other people to upskill with cloud learning resources. Let me bring actually the site and show these things there. So this is the Cloud Marathoner. Um, this is the Cloud Marathoner website. As you see here, I have posts and some of my certifications, but I mean, you would be having that. This is the URL that you just need to type in order to access it. Then again, about the Cloud Marathoner, it's all about helping the community and help that to upskilling, to learning, and then as well as making sure that you have the resources to achieve your career goal in the cloud. Again, some of the links are listed here. In addition to that, you are always welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile here. Um, and I'm looking forward to basically share useful things regarding security, data, and as well as upskilling in Azure with Azure training. And I'm usually renew my certifications and post about that experience in the blog and as well as on LinkedIn. In addition to that, I'm also have my GitHub profile where you would be able to find the slides of this session. Please, join this, and if you want to find it, you just need to scroll down here, and in the repos find the presentations, and then under presentations, you'd be able to find Azure Back to School 2022, getting you ready, and I will upload the slide and reference material and the links here so you can actually use that in your preparation. In addition to that, I'm a LinkedIn learning instructor, so please feel free to visit this page, and there will be an Azure architecture course that's actually LinkedIn is building, and it's going to be here soon, later this month or beginning of October. So check this profile if you want to watch some of the Azure architecture trainings that that's going to help you basically in that process. In addition to that, I'm going to share other information, but that's it for now. Let's go to the next. So if you are watching this, before diving into what we are going to cover, if you are watching this on YouTube channel, please put the comments there in terms of your questions, maybe some feedback, and or things that I didn't mention here during this recording, but you find it very helpful for you, and please feel free to share that, and I will share back that information on my blog post and as well as on social channels. So let's dive in. So what we are going to cover today is actually structured very simple to make sure you have some takeaways. First, we'll look into what changed in 2022 in terms of getting the Azure Architect certified. Next, we'll look into different passes that you can use, um, and what's the way forward to achieve your Azure Architecture exam certification. Next, we'll look into learning resources and some actual practical things in terms of getting your mind ready for that exam with scenario-based questions and scenario-based samples that can help you. And finally, there will be Q&A session, but because it's a recorded session, again, please use the comments in the YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's dive in, guys. So first of all, for those who have been trying to get certified from the beginning of year, they know that in the middle of year, close to the middle of year, there was some change in certification. Uh, if you want to get Azure certified, Azure Architect certified, sorry. Before there was two separate exams, then there was AZ 303, the 301, and you would have to kind of find your way, which one you need to take before certain deadlines like March 31st. But now, if you are in the market, if you are having the goal to get Azure Architect certified, then you don't have to worry about it. And I will show you what you need. So as you see here, now what you need just again, you have to pass two exams. First one is Azure Administrator exam, which is AZ 104, and next one is AZ 305. So we are going to focus on AZ 305, but Azure Administrator Associate exam AZ 104 is required for you in order to be able to achieve Azure Solution Architect certification. So how it looks like in practice, let's dive into the portal and look into these exams. So first of all, with AZ 104, the one that I just mentioned, and I brought the slide here and I'll make it a bit bigger for everyone. I hope it's much better and has a visibility. So you need to have some experience with AZ 104, Azure administration, namely. And you need to know the tools, how to manage and do your day-to-day administrations on Azure platform in order to get this AZ 104. So you can read about this exam, but what you need to do is we are not going to focus on it, but I would just add that there are new tips that appearing on this exam page for AZ 104. So check them out. They are very useful to get you ready. And Exam Sandbox is all about experience in terms of navigation and how your exam sandbox is going to look. And just to give you a spin on that, if you right click on it and open, let me close this one, you would see that it's going to load the same experience that you would see while you are launching the any Microsoft exam, including Azure, and trying to pass them. So I'm not going to walk through this, but this is really useful and highly recommended for the people who are going to take this exam for the first time, or it's been a while when they get their last exam. So this is AZ 104, we mentioned that. So for AZ 305, which is the actual designing Microsoft Azure infrastructure solution, it also actually have these tips with exam prep videos, which I'm going to mention here, and study guide that needs to be reviewed. And I will right click it here. But keep in mind, like whenever you study for these exams, the Microsoft made the process very easy because you can check what skills are going to be measured against, and you have ways to freely learn that from these learning passes on your own time and your own pace, or you can also use instructor-led paid trainings with different training solution providers that Microsoft has. You just have to click on it and look at the schedules. And if you have a training budget in your organization, and you want to use that wisely, probably that's going to be one of the options where you want to use. But other than that, again, these learning modules are here, and there are a number of them that you need to read through and get yourself ready. But overall, it consists of these learning modules, and last one is designing infrastructure solutions. And actually on my LinkedIn learning course, I'm planning to, not planning, but I have recorded sessions on it, and it's going to be, again, it's in post-production and will be available late in the beginning of October. Okay, let's go back here again to this exam. So we know what are the prerequisites, what what you need to go through and learn. Now, next, let's look into what we have in AZ305 exam. So as it was mentioned on the exam page, it consists of 4 pieces. The first part is designing identity governance and monitoring solutions. Of course, when we speak about identity, Azure Active Directory is a big part of it, including the governance and monitoring solutions that we have in Microsoft Azure. Next, we have design data storage solutions, where you will have structured and unstructured data solutioning design questions and services that provide that. In addition to that, there's a designing business continuity solution, BC. So, and data recovery. This is very important topic. But and on the right side, the percentile is an approximate portion of the questions that are going to be appearing on your exam for these sections. And finally, designing infrastructure solutions. Another portion is almost 1/3 of the exam, and it includes networking and all infrastructure solutions, including compute and other compute serverless and other solutions that you have. So once we have these 4 pieces, what are the ways to start learning? Again, first recommendation is always start with your learning path modules here. And once you're done with that, the good news is that it's not just only help that you can get freely from Microsoft Learn. The next help and next resource is actual exam prep sessions and videos. And as you see here, there are like 4 parts of them. Each of them is approximately half an hour, and it gives you good high level understanding in terms of what type of design questions to expect on this exam and how to tackle each part. And just to give you idea there, let me go back here. So this is the, I'm going to open those questions. So this is, for example, one of these videos, the part 1, where it's going to talk about identity governance and monitoring. You have a very short description of that, of course, and the rest of the videos are here in related episodes. Again, just go ahead and this URL I'm going to provide in the references. All right. So in terms of exam study guide, I mentioned that, but we didn't look at it that much. Let me make it bigger. So this is basically has all of those information, mostly all of the information here published as a PDF. So you can have it always ready at hand. You can always reference this information about passing score. It's 700. How you should prepare, what are the objective domains and skills that are going to be measured, and there's a detailed, as you see here, information about what type of for example, what type of networking solution exam objective areas you should actually put your focus on, because those are the areas that where you can get the exams, and they're neatly linked into each Microsoft Learning module in the Microsoft Learn website. Okay, and then of course there's additional study guides, and I'm going to come back to there. They're also very useful, and there are also community created resources that are just focused to help you to with this exam. So let's look at them. So when we look at those community resources, first of all, I want to mention the Microsoft Learn modules. They are created actually by Microsoft, and we just had a good view on them. Next is actually Cloud Marathoner Study Guide. So what it is, it's another set of resources that were created on Cloud Marathoner. You just go to this site, and there's study guide for AZ305, and it consists of 12 parts, and you can also read through them. The good part about them is, in addition to high level introduction to each topic, you also get some good idea in terms of what are the actual Microsoft documentation resources that you want to read on top of your learning resources to get these notions, to get this basically part covered in your studies. and it follows and covers all 12 different parts, even though, and they are divided into four, you see four kind of logical parts that you should expect in the exam. And that's the same logical parts that you saw on the study guide as well, right? The designing identity, governance, and monitoring solutions. Okay, so once you're done with this, next one is there are some MVP and Microsoft professionals who also created the videos, and I'm going to jump into labs and exercises. But before doing that, what are the official practice tests? So for official practice test, you have this Mind Hub, part of the Measure Up, where you can come, and if you have a training budget, you can get this exam. And uh, currently there is some discount that you can use. So it's another way to basically get you ready for that through some sample questions. Next is labs and exercises that I mentioned. So I'm going to deep dive into that, but in terms of labs and exercises, there is also, so let me go here. There's a number of case studies here in AZ305 under Microsoft Learn that you can dive in and learn about them. And I'm going to describe just one of them. As you see, currently we have 11 different uh, case studies here. So what it is, let's go back to the slide here. In addition to that, okay, Azure Architecture Center, I'm going to mention. So in terms of case studies, right? So this one, I actually took this graphic from that one of the case studies for designing an app architecture solution for a given requirement. So here in scenario-based questions, and those are the scenario-based questions where you can get, statement of the problem, situation about the current infrastructure, and then there might be 5 to 7, maybe 8 questions related just for that case study. And you need to be kind of getting your mindset ready for that type of case study. So in this example, we have a fictitious company, Tailwind Traders, who are having this website for their customer, and it's basically has customer supplied images that get that are getting provided by the marketing. And if you read through this example, you would see that what are the requirements in order to upload those images, and how the APIs, in-house APIs, are used for transforming those images. And in addition to that, you have questions, how you want to address them. So going back, based on this architecture and initial requirements, you need to make some discussions, self-discussion about where should the images be stored. Then another question is here, and there's a third question. But the idea behind this question is to basically make this ideation in terms of, if you are a Azure architect and you are presented with this problem, with the condition of the company that's trying to solve the problem, what are going to be your solution points? What type of design you are going to offer to resolve this issue? So I strongly recommend everybody, in addition to just learning material, also looking it in those 11 case studies that I just show on the GitHub, and get yourself ready for that. Okay, so in terms of Azure usage, of course, you need to be able to access those resources, and keep in mind that Azure comes with always free 40 plus resources. And if you never created Azure subscription, you can always dive in and create one. And you will have, for the first 30 days, you'll have $200 US credits if you are located in the United States. And basically, that's more than enough to explore and do some prototyping there and get you ready for the exam. And wrap up around all the case studies and what you want to architect. Okay, that's it. I don't want to drag this too long, because the idea here is to give you these good points how to get you ready for the Azure Architect exam, and the resources, Microsoft resource, and as well as community build resource that will help you in this journey. So what we covered, if you looked into the change in 2022, what changed in terms of your path forward in achieving Azure Architect certification. We looked into those passes, and now you know that AZ-104 is a required exam, and AZ-305 is another exam that, in combination, will help you to achieve Azure Architect certification. We looked into learning resources and different ways how they can help you. And next, there's a Q&A, but for Q&A session, again, I rely on your comments on the YouTube channel. And here are some QCR codes. If you want to just scan and look into them, again, you have the study guide here on the left. You have Microsoft official Learn modules on AZ-305. You have awesome Azure Architect. Actually, this is another community built resource by my dear friend Luke Murray, and I strongly advise to go and check it. I also contributed there, and I hope you can also contribute into that awesome resource. And finally, this is an upcoming course on LinkedIn that I'm going to, that is actually in production. It's about design infrastructure solutions AZ-305. This is the part 4 of that exam objectives, and it's coming soon again in early October month. Again, thank you everyone for joining this wonderful event, and thank you Azure Back to School organizers for putting this all together. Please go and connect with me. I will be more than glad to help you in your journey. And plus, check the cloudmarathon.com and as well as the social links to get connected and get prepared and getting your mind prepared to become a new successful Azure architect in 2022. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.